Hello, everybody, and welcome! I am your humble host, Gavin the Kitty, and today we are playing Mega Man Powered Up. I've also brought along with me Casey Tape.
Hello.
We are going to be starting up a new game here. This is a game that released in 2006 for the PlayStation Portable. Hello, AK. Welcome. This game released in 2006. It was a remake of Mega Man 1, but it had a lot of new features, a lot of new content, and is my favorite way to play Mega Man 1, actually, and a recommendation from me all around. The servers for this game lasted from 2006 all the way up until literally last year in November. So this is going to be a big thing. We're not going to be playing the old style. This changes the game to 4x3, but keeps the softer chibi style, as well as changes the level design back to the old stage design, but removes any glitches and bugs. We're going to be playing the new style because it adds a ton of stuff. Hello, Chronobird! We're going to be starting on normal. However, not all stages we're going to be playing on normal, specifically Wily Stage 1. I am just awful at the Yellow Devil in this game, so bear with me. And for the addedness of this all, I have a 100% save file that I've had since forever. You can play as the bosses in this game, including the two newcomers, and Roll, and different costumes with Roll, and Proto Man. And they all have slightly different stories. And yeah, but for this game in particular, we could also play as Mega Man without armor, the slide version, or the charge shot version of Mega Man. We are going to be playing as... I really want to do the charge shot version, but I'm just going to show them off later on. We're going to just be doing a standard Mega Man run, because that's what you'd get when you first start up the game.
The year 2000X. With the
So how is...
advancement of science,
Oh, I'll let
humans were able to create industrial humanoid
I'll let the voice acting speak for a bit.
robot by the name of Mega lived peacefully in the labs of the foremost authority in robotics, Dr. Light. But then, one day...
So there's one thing here that I'm going to have to get into, because it's something that makes this version of the game more canon than the original Mega Man 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. The name's Wily, the one and only, the brilliant scientist, Dr. Wily. It may seem rather sudden to you, but I've decided I'd like to take over the world. Anyway, to begin, Dr. Light, I'll be taking your precious robot.
I adore the voice acting here. Oop, I forgot to put my phone on complete silence.
Let's hurry to the lab.
There we go. Alright, so as we get in here, we are Mega. We don't have any kick abilities, we have no slide, charge shot, anything. So Casey, what is your experience with this game?
Hello, everyone. I am here.
You're also very quiet now for some reason.
Am I?
You gotta speak up a bit.
I'm right next to my mic.
I'll turn you up a little bit, but...
That's odd.
Alright. We'll go with
That's
that.
weird.
Okay, there we go. Anyways. Go ahead and read out chat real fast, and then we'll get your thoughts on the game. Because chat has been going for a bit.
Chronobird asks, do you fight Mega Man in the Robot Master campaigns?
Yes, you do. You do not refight your copybot selves until the Wily stages.
And they say Wily sounds like a witch.
I think they're fairly good. And I think it's fine voice acting. This team is the same team that did the voice acting in Maverick.exe.
That's fair.
Stop, Dr. Wily, stop, I say.
This voice for Dr. Light isn't too bad either.
Wait! Stop! Dr. Wily!
And the game looks great on a PSP screen, as well as upscaled doesn't look too bad. We're playing an upscaled version here, so...
Professor, please, change me into a fighting robot.
And we got a great version of the Mega Man 1 story actually being told in the game. I do like that the voice for Mega here is very, very similar to Ben's depiction in 11, but it sounds a little younger because they did use a child voice actor for this. So it is kind of fitting.
I've adapted your arm cannon so you can acquire your opponent's abilities.
He's so
They will
chibi.
then become your own, and you will be free to use them.
Well, Professor, here I go.
Listen, Mega. No, rather, Mega Man. Yes, that's it. From this moment on, you shall be Mega Man.
Let's go.
Alright.
Little girl transformation.
So now we have the actual game proper. We've got jumping, we've got shooting. No sliding or anything because we're playing as just the standard Mega. But, Casey, what is your history with this game?
I don't have a history with this game.
I know you don't. That's why I was asking. What have you heard about this game?
I haven't.
Oh, you haven't at all.
Until you mentioned it to me and showed me it, was the first time I had ever seen this game. When I told you that I barely knew anything about the Mega Man series, I meant I barely knew anything.
Can you speak up a little bit? You're really
I'm
quiet.
right next to the mic.
You're really quiet.
I'm gonna unplug my mic and plug it back in. Give me a second.
Alright, well, while Casey's doing that, I'm going to run through the rest of this intro stage here. Chronobert says magical girl transformation. A little bit. I think about that from time to time when I do art. Let's hear some more voice acting. So, this first up is the Proto Big Eye. A massive prototype of the Big Eye bot. And it's not as scary as one might think. Being just a bit too bulky and dumb to be much of a threat. So let's get into the canonicity of things. So Mega Man 1 happened, right? But this game is clearly a little bit more canon than 1 because well, 1, I said so, and 2...
One, I said so.
1, I said so earlier, and 2, the reason it's a little bit more canon is because Rock is called Mega in the English version, and in Mega Man 11, instead of calling him Rock, they call him Mega. However, in Japan, he's still known as Rock in both games. So, this makes this version a little bit more canon. Another thing is that we've seen Time Man and Oil Man referenced in other games later in the series as canonical robot masters, and they've even been given designations of DLN 00A and DLN 00B, Time Man and Oil Man respectively. So,
Does my mic sound a bit better now?
you're a little bit louder. Go ahead and talk normally.
I am talking normally. This is me, like, right in front of the mic.
I've just got to turn you up even more on Discord. Go for it now.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. I don't know
There
why
we go.
it's so quiet.
Well, I got you up loud enough now.
Okay.
Anyways, so of course, this is a retelling of Mega Man 1, so we're going to be covering old ground, but it's not that different of old ground that I'm going to be, upset at this, so let's just jump right in here. Let's start with Bomb Man, like we did last time. Chronobert says time to cut the competition. Not quite. Another change for this game, which was really massive, was the weakness chain was changed because of the addition of 2 new bosses. They had to change a few things. Another thing I should mention about this game is that they had a chance to bring back a canceled character. You heard their theme earlier on. That was fan-made. We've actually seen artwork of the character and even sprite work of them for Mega Man 1. He's known as Bondman. He is a glue concrete style robot master. However, he didn't make an appearance in 1. He was completely scrapped due to 1, a little bit of time crunch, and 2, space on the cartridge. Karmic says, nice early stream. I hope it goes well. I think it will. When asked about Bondman after this game's release, why didn't they go with him? Keiji Inafune responded by saying, Bondman was considered. He was heavily considered and debated all the way through development, and ultimately left on the cutting room floor due to the fact that every game needs its little bit of a legend, even if it's not... Everybody needs that one canceled thing that just never shows up, right? Like, we've seen it in other games where there's just canceled ideas. Usually they're reused later. Bondman is one of those characters that has just never been reused or retouched. The closest we got was Concrete Man in Mega Man 9, but... Oh boy. I am struggling today. Let me shake off the jitters a little bit.
It's over, Mega Man. I have friendship bonds on my side. Says Chrono Bird.
Not the right bond, but good try. But Casey, I'm really going to be interested in your opinion on this game because your main experience with the games, this franchise, is Mega Man 1. So, seeing very different stage layout for this game is probably throwing you for a loop.
Not really, because it feels right at home.
What do you think about the art style change?
The art style change doesn't look too different from how it would on NES, actually.
I mean,
It feels about the same, but I can see the change.
A little cheapier. We've also got a movement thing they kept to it here. We have the same sliding-ish physics from Mega Man 1 as well in terms of how Mega Man controls. They didn't switch it to the 3 and later, where he's super stiff and, like, controls, like, stops on a dime. Here, he still skids a little bit, like he's fresh out and doesn't quite know what he's doing. I should probably also mention that I'm going to try to stay quiet for each of these boss introductions.
Wow, Karmic. That's awesome. Karmic said, I guess you could say that his inclusion was never concrete.
Don't run off. Let's have a little fun with my explosive.
Yeah, that was kind of the reason here.
That's really dangerous. Stop setting off bombs.
You should have come the day before yesterday. I had some big boom booms then. Don't cry now.
So, that is something else that is seen big time in this game. And one of the things that actually disproves a theory. So, all of the bosses have different personalities depending on whether they're reprogrammed by Wily or you're playing as them. Showing that, yes, Wily did mess with their personality data to get what he wanted. Iceman is one of the most drastic examples of this. But, I'll show that off a little later. Bomb Man is very careless with his explosion. So, he disappears here in the explosion because I've already unlocked him. However, if you beat a boss Buster only, no charge shots, with Classic Mega, you will end up getting a small cutscene showing that you have collected a boss and you can now play as them. At which point you can start them up and they'll start a whole fresh game with them as the Robot Master not chosen to be collected. We've got a new weapon get screen. showing exactly how the boss's weapons work. And here, Hyper Bomb was changed a little bit. It explodes on impact instead of having to wait, which is just, I think, is a nicer change. Makes it more useful. Alright, so the weakness change here is Cut Man beats Bomb Man. He cuts the fuse. Bomb Man blows up the ice because controlled explosives are often used to destroy large sheets of ice that could cause a danger to oncoming ships. Iceman beats Fireman, just like in the original. Fireman beats Oilman. Oilman beats Elecman. Elecman beats Time Man. Time Man beats Gutsman. And Gutsman beats Cutman. So,
Whoa.
off to ice we go. But Casey, I'm really more into your thoughts on this whole thing. You got any talking points for us today?
Not really. I do like what they did with the, what was that?
What
was
the-
that? He just came back.
Oh yes. So to give the bosses more of a personality, because you know they're voice acted now. They open back up the fade out each time, and the boss says a different quote. The voice acting for this game is incredibly good.
I should give this a shot.
You really should. It's a fantastic PSP game, and I can recommend this to just about everybody in chat, because I did some price checking before today's stream. This game is actually one of the cheaper to own Mega Man games if you want a physical copy. It's only $23 right now. That's the rough estimate of what you'd pay. So anywhere from 20 bucks to 30 bucks is, you know, that's a solid price for a Mega Man game, and especially one this rich with content. Because they've added challenges, costumes for roll, different gameplay styles, because all the bosses get different gameplay styles, since they can't copy a boss's ability. And you get Mega Man 1 with less glitches and this art style, so I think all around it's really well done. There's also a construction editor. All of the stages were at one point able to be uploaded online. Now that the servers are down, don't fret. All of the stages that were ever uploaded, and yes, I mean all of them, have been saved, preserved, and backed up. They were all saved as save files for the game itself, so believe it or not, you can just it's kind of a drag and drop them in your PSP and you can play them. Or you could do like I'm doing and run an emulator. Although I do own a physical copy for this game.
Whoa.
Let's go ahead and...
Take some damage.
I'm gonna struggle here for a second. There we go. So I'm sure chat's probably a little curious where I've been. Fighting off the rest of that sickness is where I've been. You want to tell chat about that case?
They fought off the illness. Thumbs up.
I slept for 12 hours yesterday.
Yeah, you did, and then you woke me up.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know what time it really was. I was hazy.
That's fair. But yeah, they slept like crazy. Because when I got home, I was expecting us to, like, you know, work on the suit and stuff.
Stream this game.
Stream this game. And then it never happened, so I was like,
Then I woke up at 11 o'clock and... yeah.
Chronobird says, congrats on your recovery.
Thank you. Spread the word, I didn't die.
Spread the word, I didn't die. I'm glad I made a full recovery. I was worried.
Duty. There's something dangerous up ahead, sir. Oh, freeze it at all costs, soldier.
I don't believe it. Iceman. Even a loyal robot like you.
Well, sir, Soldier, finish your mission. Stop and free.
So, yes, they gave Iceman multiple personality disorder when Wily reprogrammed him. that does not show up in Iceman's original programming. He's actually just the timid robot master. He's not the confident commander. So that's something to think about. Another new addition is the super ability each of the bosses get. So, much like the double gear system, we have the bosses become invincible for a quick second. They do a super powerful attack, which changes the way you're going to have to approach them. And then they go back to being damageable. And they can do that multiple times. Hard mode changes the patterns beyond that, which is nice. And here we have Ice Slasher. This time it actually does damage, it doesn't just freeze an enemy. Which I think is a lovely change.
Great job! Give it your all on the next stage too, Kay.
So Case, what'd you think about the Iceman stage there?
It looked really cool. It was a really good reimagining of the stage. I really liked it a lot.
What'd you think of Bomb Man's? Cause
Bomb Man's felt like a 10 stage. It didn't feel really too much like OG, which is pretty cool.
Just wait till you see Fireman here. I love Fireman's voice, by the way.
What's he sound like? I'm scared.
Time to burn the trash.
Ready?
What do you think of that? If you guys can't hear it, please let me know. I can raise the volume a little bit, if need be.
I had the volume all the way up. I could barely hear him.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's got more of a southern accent to him.
That's what I slightly heard. I couldn't fully tell though.
He said, "Time to burn the trash," which I think is very befitting of Fireman here. Here we have a reuse of hotheads from Mega Man 2. We saw shield attackers from Mega Man 4 in Iceman stage. You're going to see that all over here. I actually really like the changes to the voices and stuff. I do kind of, sort of, there is a part of me that really wishes they went with a Scotsman accent for Fireman. Just to reference NT Warrior. But, I can feel with the southern accent, and I can still kind of feel like that's close enough to a reference.
Yeah, that's fair. Zenny says, OMG, it's Gavin and Casey.
Yee! I'm doing a lot better, and I'm streaming today.
Chronobrit says, oh no, Cowboy Fireman.
Oh, another major change with this game is that we actually have a, we have the R and L weapon switching, and it shows you in the upper left-hand corner what your next weapon and previous weapon's going to be. It shows you up to 2 previous, and I think 3 to the right, so it can make weapon switching incredibly easy to know exactly how many clicks you have to go. Oop, dang it. So close. I do like that they also changed the way that this set piece is used. Just like on the NES game, it couldn't be frozen. Another major change is the magnet beam only shows up in the original mode. It doesn't show up in the newcomer mode, so...
Get dunked on.
Get dunked on?
Yeah.
Why?
Able to use the magnet beam here.
Yeah. That's alright. They had it modeled, it looked pretty okay. The beam also works pretty well in this game. It actually isn't... It's not quite as slow as the Genesis version, and it's not nearly as fast and unpredictable as the NES one, so... It's actually...
Like a good mid?
It's a good mid that's easy for newcomers to understand without them, you know, going, why is the screen flashing and stuff? Because most of the flashing elements for the game were actually changed and removed. All right.
That hothead would just not stop.
Oh, so here's another change. So you notice how I can't damage it? I can only hit the eye of the big eye. Luckily, big eyes don't ever have that big of a range, so they don't change where they're at. So, anytime that you think you've off-screened one and it might respawn, you don't have to worry about it. Chronobird says, does the cubes that need different weapons on the stages give anything worthwhile? I'm confused on what you mean.
The destroyable blocks. The
Oh!
ones that require guts or fireman or
Yes.
anything like that.
Yes, they do, but I will explain them after... I'll explain them midway through next stage, okay? Let's hear Fireman out here real fast.
Fire! Burn! Burn! My justice burns hotly. Evil beware.
Fireman, why are you... I haven't done anything to you.
By the fire of justice, I am certain you are evil. Fire!
It's just enough of a reference to Mr. Match that I count it. Oh, here's his new attack. Oop.
He looks so small and cutesy. I just want to punt him into the lava.
Well, let's not punt him into the lava. Nope. By the way, if you use a special weapon at all against the bosses, you will not unlock them as a character. However, you can do it on easy mode, so it doesn't actually hurt things too much.
That's good. Then again, Casey does try to beat everything Buster only.
Which you can absolutely do in this game, which I think is great. Firestorm here had another change. So the rotational shield around Mega Man actually lasts both longer. It lasts for 2 to 3 rotations. And it can stack with a second Firestorm, making it a lot more useful as both a shield and an attacking weapon. What'd you think of the stage, Case?
I think that was pretty cool. I could see definitely some nods to the original, but I really like this a lot.
Is it the Guess the Fire Pillars is a reference to Battle Network? I'll count that, yeah.
I was gonna say the fire pillars are a reference to the first Wily stage.
No, I think they're talking about the super effect of
Oh.
Yep. Their super ability, which I think is a lot like the Fire Tower chip from Battle Network. I hope the chat's doing well today. I haven't checked on you guys yet. I hope you guys are all doing lovely. As we enter Oil Man stage, I have some preferences to talk about here. So, 1. The Archie Comics changed his design, and that is the design I used when drawing the thumbnail. I do not like this design that much. It was changed for the United States version, to make his lips less pink and his body more bluish than a dark oil color. Another thing to reference here is that this is not actually based on the American reference of blackface. It's actually reference to a specific Japanese influence. They weren't sure if they were bringing this game over to the States because it didn't sell super great in Japan, but they did ultimately end up bringing it over. So they didn't.
Why it didn't sell in Japan is beyond me.
Because the people who were buying the people who were buying a PSP at the time weren't buying a PSP to play platformers. They were buying a PSP to play Final Fantasy and RPGs and larger first-person shooting style of games. They weren't playing for these cutesy Mega Man titles.
That's fair.
Which is fair, but I really would have loved to power it up too. I keep referencing that people should just mod this game and put them in. Speaking of a new enemy, here's an unused enemy for Mega Man 1, a Cactus Met. It shoots off his little spikes and then bounces out of his top. Another thing to reference here is we have oil on the ground. If I try to walk on it, I can't. I just have to jump on it. So, speaking of those containers and stuff, yes, they do unlock stuff. I said there is a level editor mode where you can create your own levels. Thrown throughout this game are all sorts of blocks and puzzle pieces that you can collect. They're called construction packs and enemy packs. They allow you to pick different sets of enemies and different themes for each of the construction stages. To get them, you needed to both play through all the stages with different bosses, finding their unique paths, and using the special weapons as Mega Man to collect them. So, that is what those blocks are used for. Alternate pathways and different secrets. Here we have the Crazy Cannons. Another enemy for Mega Man 2 that didn't show up in 1. But they were also a scrapped enemy for Mega Man 1, so take that as you will.
I think that's my favorite thing about the Mega Man series. Any enemy that is originally scrapped is reused in the future title. Maybe not the sequel, but, you know, in a more later game. Because if I remember correctly, there's an enemy from 11 that was scrapped from way back.
Yep. Here's a block for Elect Man. I can't use that even with Mega Man. It will not move for Mega Man. It's just his Thunder Beam is not powerful enough. So, Case, what do you think of Oil Man here? Our first...
Oil Man's stage is really cool.
It feels like a classic level without feeling overdone.
Once again, I'm saying this again. It feels like 11 more than because 11 does go for the more classic feel of Mega Man.
Oh, another thing I should reference is I believe we have the energy balancer in this game, although I'm not entirely sure.
Huh.
I don't actually remember if we do or not. So. Oh, well, here's a good time to test. We do. We do, in fact, have the energy balancer. These are Gutsman platforms. Gutsman can break them with both his head and his body while using a jump.
When you said his head, I literally thought you meant he could just smash his noggin into the ground.
Not quite, but yeah.
I could see him doing that.
I mean, it would fit. It's befitting. The fire here is actually quite dangerous. You don't want to hit it. It does quite a lot of damage. Also, once the oil is used up, you can walk on top of it freely.
His theme is really nice, too.
Oh yeah, all the music in this game is just really, really good. I am really partial to this version of Wily Theme 1. But let's go in for Oil Man. Oil Man was later used in the Archie comics. That's where we get the serial number of DLN A and B, respectively. And I think that, honestly, yeah, no, I just like it. I like this version of Mega Man 1. I grew up with this version of Mega Man 1. It is really fun to play, and it has that cutesy 2D style that I just adore.
Hey, what'd you come out here for? Don't you got a place near your house for fill-ups?
Oil Man, let's go home.
You for real? Even if that just slipped out, we are still gonna do this. Yeah! It's showtime!
His voice sounds a lot like Adventure Sonic.
I could hear it. I could definitely see it. Chronobird says Oil Man more like Duck Man.
He does look like a duck.
That was one of
So we
the...
got a chicken and a duck.
That was one of the inspirations.
Oh, because of the duck oil crisis?
Well, just generally when it comes to I'm trying to figure out what they mean by that case.
What do you mean?
In chat.
What are you talking about?
Sylveon just put 2 emojis. I'm trying to figure them out. I'm confused.
I don't see that. Hold on, live chat. There you go. They're talking about his lips.
Oh, we already discussed it. It's a Japanese fashion trend with females. And I was getting to the other inspiration, which was ducks covered in oil, which was often used in advertising for anti-oil campaigns. Dawn, all sorts of stuff, because oftentimes oil spills into the oceans and rivers, and ducks are the first thing to get coated because of their feathers. But no, we already discussed the two. Those are the 2 inspirations behind Oilman's design, beyond his gas pump cannon, which is used as his arm cannon.
Oh, I'm never gonna eat ice cream again. Oh my god, says the bottom text.
Welcome, guys.
But yeah, Sylveon was showing an oil drum and then lips to signify Oil Man.
I see. Well,
Family Guy reference.
all right then. Well, we're gonna move on into Elecman stage, but first I'm actually gonna save.
No,
But-
let's fight Oil Man again.
Just to prove to you guys, I do have 100% save files. Thanks to the power of modern machinery, I've got really fast saves. So, don't worry about that. We are using an emulator for this. I do have a PSP with a component cable out, but the footage would not be as clean as this, so this is what we're using. Can you soft lock on a construction level? No, you cannot. They made you beat it before you could upload it from both the checkpoint and the start of the stage. There is a glitch that lets you clip into a boss room, and it lets you create custom boss fights. I used that one a few times.
Elecman secretly works for Team Rocket, says Sylveon.
Not quite. This is my favorite voice for Elecman, to the point where I learned how to do it.
Alright, hold on, let me hear that.
Electrifying! Well, can't you see? I'm just the most fabulous of the robot masters. Like I said, I like Elecman's voice here.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody did a video on trying to make a softlock in Mario Maker 2. They had a factory reset the Switch to an earlier update in order to attempt an unbeatable level. That's interesting. I don't have much to say on that. We're not going to get much use out of Oil Slider in this stage. However, in later stages we will. So let's get into Oil Slider and what it does. So, when we put it down, it does 1 damage. When we stand on it, it slides. Now that's kind of slow, so if you want, you can speed it up by holding right. Or, you know, whichever direction you're going. Or you can slow it down by going the other direction. Now, if I'm headed towards a pit or something, if I head up and jump, I will hop off the board, allowing for a small double jump after the board. The board is essentially... the Oil Slider is really an interesting weapon. I love using it when
I'm sad we didn't get this in 1.
Yeah! It's really good. Also, this remix for Elecman is just gorgeous.
Oh, is it actually Journey's song?
No, it is a synthesized version using electric keyboards, a small bit of a guitar. It just sounds great. The drums in the background too, and these lovely little flutes. I just think it sounds nice.
Chronobird said oil board.
Yeah.
Elecman Lo-Fi when?
Well, I'm not the channel for that, sadly, Sylveon, but
If anyone is to make that, it'd probably be me, because
I would love to listen to it. Sylveon said, or Skylar says, "Yo, hey Gav, haven't seen you stream in a while." Yeah, I've been sick. I was really ill for while, and also in between that I was working on Fursuit stuff while still being sick because I want to get this stuff done.
You were sick. I had broken legs.
I mean, it wasn't a broken leg, but it was a hurt leg.
Okay, sorry. It was broken.
It was broken.
We got a lot of people in here, chat. Anti-SJW and SJW titles in a nutshell. Gavin Dragon plays Mega Man PSP game, claims it's not a retread.
Well, it's not. It has absolutely... It's Mega Man 1 again, but the stages are different. The feel is different. The look is different. It is updated. The music is different. It's all around worth your time to play both this and the original Mega Man 1.
Think of it as Castlevania, and then Castlevania, I believe it's, Super Castlevania, excuse me.
Yeah, Super Castlevania 4 or Castlevania Chronicles.
I was about to say X.
That too. Dracula X and Rondo of Blood, definitely two different games. Deadman Joe Visca, Deadman says, "Hey bud, been a while." Yeah, I've been sick, but welcome. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Glad to see ya. Glad to have ya. Here we've got two different pathways, just like before. We've got more uses of the Yoku block than we saw in Mega Man 1. So, Sony has a PlayStation Portable emulator on the PlayStation 5. Sony is releasing different titles on the PlayStation 5.
This isn't one.
And PlayStation 4. I want you guys to shout to the heavens, yell at Capcom to re-release this in Maverick Hunter X. Make them do it. Tell them you'll pay the $10 or $15 to get it out there. Because this game deserves the preservation. There's just so much hard work put into it. And the real reason they made this... so... Deadman, this is a PSP game. A really, really good PSP game. Perfect. Sorry. But yeah, go shout towards Sony, go shout towards Capcom, tell them you want Mega Man powered up. Yeah, said nobody. Oh, yeah, no, this game's so good, and I would love to play this on the PS5 and have, you know, a viable way to play this. Oh, man.
Plus, I feel like this would look really good on a big screen and upscale.
Oh, absolutely. Radioactive Foxy Poison says, "Hello, everybody. Great day to see a Mega Man." Yeah, it's an absolutely wonderful day to see a Mega Man, and we're actually coming to the end of the Classic series, but glad to have you, Radioactive.
Super Castlevania 4 is supposed to be a reimagining of the first game in Japan. But in the United States, it's a sequel taking place after the second game's good ending, I think.
Nope, still a remake. Japanese intent is all that matters there. Even the manual talks like it's a remake, not a sequel. Dang it.
Deadman says, "Is there a list of PSP games that are available? I have so much PSP nostalgia."
So yes, there is a list out there. Some of them are remade for PS4, and some of them are just ports. The most recent one, I think, was Echo Shift. Also, why hasn't this game been re-released on the PS Vita store? It is in Japan, but not in the States. Dead Man's Squish. Oh, boy. Squish. That is just gonna... You know what? Every time I get stomped on in all future Mega Man games, just somebody go squish.
Skish.
Skish.
I just stretched and my leg just decided to freak out.
Ah, interesting.
That hurt a lot. It cramped.
That's not good.
But yeah, I'm really liking this game. The effects are beautiful. I love the lightning. It just, it all looks pretty. I like the little flash, and it's not overly bearing. It's really welcoming and kind of nice. Dark Mega Man has popped in chat. They say, "Hey Gavin, how are you?"
I'm doing quite alright, much better than last time you were here. Have you played the new Advance Wars remake? I haven't had the money to. I'm so sorry, guys. I've been busy playing Final Fantasy and other stuff. I will in a couple paychecks, but trust me.
You haven't played it yet?
I haven't played it yet. I don't have the money to just go and spend $60.
Well done.
That's fair.
Say goodbye, you.
I really want to get
More about me after I win.
forget what
I
it
don't
is
have
for
any reason
Switch.
to fight you, Elect Man. Come on, let's go home.
There's a game on Switch I really want. I forget what it is. I didn't put it on my wish list.
It's really too bad. But I'm going
I'll
to
figure it
finish
out
you at
eventually.
lightning speed.
What do you think of that line right there?
I think it's electrifying.
So, Oil Man is his weakness. It does a little bit of damage when you just spray him with the oil. But what they want you to do is shoot it in the corner, jump onto it, and slide towards him. This is a very difficult fight on normal mode, and I do see people having a lot of trouble. Luckily, your weapons refill after death, so don't feel too scared. I would love to play the new Advance Wars remake, and if you guys want to see me play it, feel free to donate. I've got a PayPal link down below. You guys can totally donate, and I'll happily play it for the channel.
What the heck was that? You were sliding.
Yeah, the oil slider is a little goofy with the hitbox, because the real hitbox is actually just the board itself. So what they want you to do is hop off it just after you hit Elect Man. And they do give you quite a lot of it, so it's all good if you fail a few times. Oh boy, yes, they do taunt you if you die. He literally said, "I win."
Hey, at least he's not quick, man.
Yeah.
He's a jerk. He made me cry. Do you want all the NES games to be remade in the power-up style, or would this be the only one?
I wanted to at least see the first trilogy remade like this. Honestly, I'd love to see them do it in the Mega Man 11 style, now that we've seen what that looks like and runs like.
Oh my gosh. I would love to see 4, 6, and 10 remade in 11 style.
Alright, so this is a perfect time for me to showcase what's different in a different difficulty. Also, what happens when you game over.
Are you hurt? Are you okay? It must have been tough out there, hey?
For the sake of world peace, please hold on.
Yes, they're very worried about Rock when he comes back. But I'll show off the easy stage for this one. I at least wanted to see Mega Man 2 like this, because it would have been really cute.
For you, you little baby boop-bop.
One of the other really neat things that was unused from a unused sequel that they later did in the Archie comics is the fact that you were supposed to be able to play as the Mega Man 1 bosses in the 2 remake, or the Wily stages. Each stage would have been themed after 2 different Robot Masters, and you'd have your choice between them. Ultimately, culminating in any boss, you being able to fight any boss for the final stage. Of course, with Rock being playable after you had finished it. They were going to change a couple things with the story there, and that would have been really cool to see, but most of the unused and scrapped ideas just didn't come back. But let's get some of the changes they've made here for the easier difficulty. We have these plus blocks that help you cross gaps and difficult jumps. We've got the foot holders going on a set path rather than their zigzaggy pattern or their random pattern on the hard difficulty. As well, we also see enemies shoot less and are less active than they normally are. Even some stage hazards are less active. overall making it for a more peaceful time and more friendly time for newcomers. But since you can retry the stage on any difficulty, it actually is more rewarding to play it on one difficulty all the way through. Especially because if you don't get all of the stages on normal beaten, or all the stages on easy or hard beaten, you don't unlock Charge Shot, Slide, or No Armor Mega Man. So...
the bottom text says this isn't Mega Man related, but it's Capcom related. Capcom used to make a lot of Disney-based games on NES, Game Boy, SNES, and Sega Genesis.
Yes, they did. I won't be touching them.
However, they did make, what was it, 3 Zelda games?
Yeah, they made 3 Zelda games: Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, and the Minish Cap. I'm playing through Seasons for the channel. We started it, but I haven't been able to finish it yet, just due to the fact that, 1, I wanted to start the Mega Man series. 2, Zelda games take me a while, and I leave and come back to them quite frequently. And 3, people didn't seem that interested into it. The last time we did a video on The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons, what actually ended up happening was a lot of... we ended up with, like, I think 3 viewers throughout the whole stream, and overall I think only like 15 people watched it. So I ended up putting it on hold until Zelda month in November. I still got my save file, don't worry.
Alright, we got a lot of people coming in with some comments. Let's see here. Bottom text says, I played a lot of them and either didn't like them or outright hated them. Really?
I liked some of the Disney Afternoon stuff. The stuff they put out on that Disney Afternoon collection was pretty good. I just won't be playing them for the channel, just mostly due to the fact that, 1, I don't know much about them. 2, I have very little experience with them. And 3, I'm really scared of Disney copyright, and there's a lot of copyrightable themes, and I've heard Disney is very strict about that, so...
As strict as Nintendo?
Stricter in some cases. So, while I'm sure I could get away with streaming the collection, I'm not sure I want to. Yeah, Viacom, NBC, Universal, yeah, that is a whole other bag of worms. I don't feel the need to touch. And Oilman, Electman is drenched with oil. And not to say that I'm opposed to playing them for the channel, I absolutely will if you guys want, but...
Is Warner Brothers bad with copyright laws? I don't think they are.
Yeah, they are. They can get pretty bad. Sony and Columbia Pictures, they fall under the same category as Universal. So here's the first major change with the Thunder Beam. It's a lot faster.
Yay.
And you have more of them.
That's good.
So it's an easily spammable weapon. But when it comes to the select trick this time around, since we don't have it, it makes the Elect Beam a little bit less useful. And it's time to start up our next original boss for this game, Time Man. Dark Megaman.exe 85 says, I can see powered up on Switch. I want this game on something. I don't care what. I just want it on something modern. Because, oh boy, this game makes me happy.
It's modern, but it's voiced by Ben Diskin.
No, this isn't Ben...
No, I'm saying they make a sequel to this.
But they use the modern voice cast? I would love that. Especially seeing as the kid who voiced here has since grown up. You know, it's been a little bit. We're coming up on 20 years that this game's been out. Oh boy. Yeah, but I played this all the way back in 2011, give or take. Actually, no, wait, no, it would have been probably closer to 2009.
Chronoverse says time is on our side. You're just rolling out with the puns today.
Oh, another nice thing, another change is that the buster shots no longer go through walls.
Oh.
That was a deliberate change because the level design accommodates it.
That's fair.
I'm okay with it. I am A-okay with it. Here we have some very pretty music, some nice movement in the backgrounds. I think that this stage is really fun. I think Time Man is one of my favorite designed Robot Masters in the entire franchise. I love what Archie Comics did with him. His voice here isn't too bad either. He's kind of posh and necessary. We've got a lot of time bomb gimmicks that would later show up in later Mega Man games, as well as this new gimmick of the swinging pendulums, almost like a pendulum of a clock. Another thing to mention is that Oil Man and Time Man are prototype Robot Masters. They were never actually completed until Dr. Wily stole them. After which, they were designated A and B by Dr. Light, and yeah, that's how that goes. Another neat thing about this stage is that there's no bottomless pits.
Really?
Yeah, you'll just fall down to the previous section. Now, there are spikes you can land on, but if you remember the layout, you can actually just slide to the left or right and avoid them.
This is the most scariest pendulum I've ever seen in my life.
I know, right?
Ooh, nice.
This is a room that taught me some really interesting design quirks. Some people who haven't played the series before would have most likely stopped on the ladder. But if you know about the series' tricks and the way it scrolls things...
It was still swinging. That's crazy.
Yep.
I was not expecting that.
Momentum carries with those. There have been attempts to redo this on using more of an 8-bit style. However, every time somebody's tried to do that, it does not go well. It usually ends failing. Here's another thing I wasn't able to showcase previously about Hyper Bomb, is that it removes shields.
Liam is responsible is here.
Ah, lovely. Hello, Liam. How you doing?
They just finished a college exam.
Awesome. Well, I hope that goes well. Macroeconomics with a 90.5. Ooh,
That's pretty good.
that's really good. Glad to hear it, bud. Congratulations. Clockman, Chronoverse's Clockman looks quite good. Devil emoji. Well, I mean, it's Time Man. Speaking of, this isn't the only time-based Robot Master or character that came out around this time. We also had, I believe, it was... We had Time Men on the Wonder Swan, which would have been the previous Mega Man platformer to come out before this. We also had, I believe it was Clockman.exe, which has a very, very, very similar design to Time Man here. Although he does use a different color palette. Him being green and Time Man being purple. Here it's teaching you not to dilly-dally. Kind of just gotta get a move on there. Alright, and we've made it to the end. Casey, what did you think of this stage?
I think this stage was really, really good. I like how it takes place in a giant clock tower.
Oh, you know what's really cool? You need to see the boss room.
Is there a giant clock face in the background?
Not only is there a giant clock face, it reacts to the fight itself.
What?
Yes. So, also, the lines here are different depending on how fast you made it to the stage. If you died a few times, he says something different.
You're early for
This
your
man's
appointment.
intro is crazy.
Huh? What appointment, Time Man?
Oh, joy. By being early, you've given us an extra 0.3 seconds.
But Time Man's main ability is the time slow. He can slow down the time, and here's how it affects it. And now the hands are moving slower.
So are the gears.
And so am I. That is a really cool effect that I wanted to show.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Electman is his weakness, so just use the Thunder Beam to the best of your ability.
Because I assume what it is overclocking.
Yep,
I believe that's the term.
that is the term.
Because I remember back in public school, we had a power outage and the clock started spinning like crazy.
Yep. Time Man is a really fun boss to play as because he shoots off his time hands, and if you charge up his shot, it releases the time slow.
Ooh, that's cool.
Time slow stays active even while using other weapons, so don't be scared to use it if there's any timing-based puzzles or challenges coming your way. It doesn't work on everything, but it is very useful.
That's pretty cool.
So what'd you think of that stage so far?
I really liked it.
So far, we've seen a lot of really cool changes. Here's my favorite change in the entire game is Gutsman's stage. I love the changes to this stage. We'll get into them as we're playing.
I got it covered.
Then he says they're back, they were doing laundry.
Well, welcome back. As we're finishing up the last of the Robot Masters, by the way, I want to remind you guys to please drop a like and subscribe. Leaving a like helps us in the algorithm. Subscribing helps us to reach that goal of 1,000 subs. And, you know, most importantly, I appreciate all you guys, and I love to play and talk with everybody, so please. Subscribe and share it with friends.
Chronobird says the gutsy man.
The Gutsy. I love that his voice is kind of like a gruff construction worker, and it really does mimic that Gutsy of Gutsman from EXE. His stage is littered with Mets. As you notice, the platforms there were easier to read because there's a little peg on the left-hand side. Ah, I see we're referencing the Gutsman from the Ruby Spears cartoon.
And here we got a pickle man, and now they actually look more like Mets.
Yep, lending even more credence to everything. Along with the platforms changing, time slow is going to be your best friend when it comes to this, or your worst enemy. In my case, it's a little bit of both. I am absolutely terrible at this stage. If there's any stage that we will come back to with... if there's any stage we're going to come back to with trying to do the easy mode, it'll be Gutsman's stage. I've only ever beaten it on normal and hard one time each. I imported the save specifically from my PSP, and this emulator introduces a little bit of input lag. Not enough to make it too much of a difference, but with the Gutsman platforms, it absolutely does.
So you're telling me that Gutsman planned for you to use an emulator and have your inputs be slightly delayed?
I suppose so, if you really want to take that. Luckily, there's not a whole lot of these Gutsman platforms in the actual level itself. They're used to greater effect here, yes, and the stage is much longer than it was on the NES.
How many sections were there with the Gutsman platforms? Only 2, if I'm correct.
1.
1?
1.
Only the intro to the stage?
Yes.
Wow, I thought there was 2.
Nope. This has up to 5, I believe. There we go.
Well, yeah, you're right. They were used to greater effect here.
So there's 2. We'll count them for you. Another interesting thing is that Cutman can actually hop on walls, and here's our first section where we'll actually bounce off of it to go up there, but since we're not playing as Cutman, we can't do that. Another thing is Gutsman can actually spawn in up to 3 Guts blocks from the ground, and when he spawns in another one, it erases the oldest Guts block on the screen. So that's how he attacks. He's slower, but it's definitely used to better effect. Oh, so close. That was really, really close. Times like these, I wish I had the magnet beam. But this right here is our 4th time using these Guts platforms. And I am terrible at them. So let's show you guys what the easier version of the stage looks like. Chronobirds is... Oh, you know what? I'll let you read out the chat case.
Yeah. Oh, also, I passed my end of pathway assessment for patient care. My consensus, I could probably perform surgery on someone. I do not have an official state licensing to do so, though.
Yeah, let's wait till you have the official state licensing, shall we?
Either way, that's still pretty impressive.
It is incredibly impressive, and I'm very proud, bud.
I am proud of you, Liam. Casey is proud of you. Also, I like how they went with the fact of the original Mets were sort of gelatinous underneath the helmet instead of...
The orb?
More slug-like, yeah. Instead of just being, like, little beans with feet.
I do really think these little plus platforms really do help make these sections a lot easier. So the original plan was for these guys to remake the original first 3 X games, Mega Man 1 through 3 on PSP, do all of them on PSP, and then make new entries to the series being Mega Man's 9 and X9 as well. However, that didn't come to pass. And it's a shame. Luckily, a majority of this team later did go on to help with Mega Man 9 and 10 and work on 11, so I think they learned quite a lot from these games, even if it didn't pay off right away. Oh, also, here's another instance of a Mega Man 2 enemy, the Baton. Or as I know them, Batontons. Case, what do you think of Gutsman's stage here? It's certainly the most different.
It definitely is. I was happy to see that baton.
Got P-hats here. Well, they're not called P-hats, but I've always called them P-hats because Zelda is on the brain. Vampire King says, hey, just sent you a video game REC on Twitter. Hope we can check it out eventually. I just want the game to have some love. Also, it's free on Steam. I can give it a shot, although I'm not sure I'll be able to check it out right now.
Also, good luck on Megaman.
I believe you mean Mega Man, but yeah.
It's on the far side of the keyboard there, bud.
Yeah, it's alright. Thank you, though. As you notice, there's a big change with the big eyes. They're stationary in normal mode as well. So let's show off how late Gutsman's gonna be.
Is he that slow?
Hey, men only. Little boys don't belong here. Go home before you get hurt.
Time to punch out and go home, Gutsman.
You big idiot! What'll happen to me if I get fired? I'm gonna take you down with me. Ready?
So there you go. And this is how time slow works. You only have 2 uses of this weapon. So use them wisely. Luckily, Bomb Man's weapon is still quite good against the boss. Even if, you know, it's not his main weakness this time. I love that we've drilled down into the mining facility. Like, that's where he's really causing problems.
Yeah. That's Gutsman for you.
He is an interesting boss to play as in this game. Not my favorite. He doesn't hate work breaks, he hates being late. Here we have Super Arm. Not much was changed in terms of this, except it flies further, it moves faster, and we have more of it. There's also more places to use it because of the change in level layout. So let's go ahead and save real fast, because this is the last time we're going to get to hear this version of the stage select jingle. Because they actually made a different one for when you go up against Wily. Let's get ready for Cutman, everybody.
I'll finish this.
Vampire King, I don't believe there is. And even Mega Man is not in every Mega Man game. As I showcased with Rockboard the other day.
I was gonna make a joke about 11 and how the Impact Brothers all of a sudden show up after you defeat Gutsman. I forgot their Japanese name.
They're the Ishiro brothers.
Ichiro Brothers, that's right.
Here we have the nice forest of Cutman stage. I really like what they did here.
I like how I like the platforms a lot, and I like what the Mega Man Maker application, how they recreated the blocks. They just look fantastic.
Here we have a change with these things. Instead of them just tossing out one, they bounce along the ground this time.
They tossed out one?
They tossed out multiple, but they didn't bounce along the ground.
That's right, because they would just fall off the stage.
Yep. And here I get to show off Super Arm. How versatile that is. Alright.
Dang. Alright, so we got a lot more in chat. Oops.
We've got all sorts of questions.
Alright, so let's start with Chronobird. They say Guts hates work breaks. Got it. Liam is responsible, says, thank you guys, it took a bit to pull through. I appreciate the support very much. Vampire King says, is there just a robot that's been in every single game excluding Mega Man?
We already read through that. We're at we're exclusive. Sylveon's next thing is what we were actually on.
Oh.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
Bottom text asks, can't you burn the oil with Firestorm and Oilman stage?
Yes, you can. I did it once, but I'm not. I decided against doing it because it's not super beneficial.
Sylveon asks.
I'm gonna catch up from where we were at, because it seems like some stuff's out of order for you. Sylveon Chan says they personally hate Cutman's design because he looks silly. Well, he was the first boss ever designed, so that makes sense.
I have live chat on.
I have live chat on too, but mine's a little bit more up to date.
That's weird.
Well, yours is with the video, mine is not. Mine's with where I'm actually at.
That's fair.
Can't you burn the oil? Yes, you can. Chronobird, but Roll is, right? Roll is not seen in Mega Man 3, Mega Man 2. She is not seen in 6. She is not seen in I don't believe she's... No, she is seen there. But yeah, those. She's not seen in all of them. Which design of Skullman is better? Megamix or fully charged? Fully charged all the way. Thank you so much for asking. Some of the robots are made to solve problems, so would have 3 different heat robots. We have more than 3. Trust me, we have more than 3. As somebody who has been cataloging the series. Doesn't Super Arm summon a block for free? No, only Gutsman's version of which does that. As you can see by me hitting shoot on the button. The jump looks super annoying without the Super Arm block. Yeah, luckily it respawns. And then the bottom text said that again because it came up twice. Alright, now we are all caught up with the most recent comment. If you'd like to read that, Casey.
Fireman is a trash disposal robot. Heatman is a Wily bot, thus built without particular function. Fireman is technically fire themed.
Fireman is not just trash disposal. Heatman was later repurposed for heat induction, as well as energy, thermal energy. Flame Man was built with combat in mind for the tournament, as well as stopping and controlling oil fires in the Middle East. Pharaoh Man is not technically fire themed, but has fire.
He's not a pharaoh.
I mean, he's themed after a pharaoh, but he's a bot that goes all the way through. He goes through tombs and such for research purposes.
That's fair.
Anyways, I'm not gonna go through all the fire bosses. We're at Cutman.
We're at that guy.
We're at the guy.
I'm going to make paper dolls out of you.
Dr. Wily was right. You've changed into a bad robot. Cutman, what's going on? You're an evil fighting robot now. I'm gonna stop you, Mr. Megaman, and make you good again.
I like his voice here. That's another one where I'm like, I'm so glad they didn't go the Ruby Spears route. It just sounds so much nicer. It doesn't sound like they're trying to make a really terrible joke based on an old, like, 40s villain. Oh, boy. So, Casey, I haven't asked you, what is your thoughts on the stage? And, sorry for interrupting you.
No, you're good. I really like this stage a lot. It actually feels genuine to classic Mega Man. I'm really digging the background though. The background is just beautiful. It's still hard to believe this is a PSP game.
Yeah.
It feels like a PlayStation 3 game.
It's really, really impressive, because this is the same team behind Megaman.exe 7, X8, Resident Evil 2, later on RE7, RE8, Mega Man 11, the ports of Battle Network and such. It's just really, really impressive what this team has done.
Sylveon says, Cutman, more like baby Boomer Coanger.
We're not there yet. We've got one more video left. One more Mega Man stream after this one for Classic.
Did Cutman speak Japanese when you die, or is that a catchphrase?
It's a catchphrase. It's not... He said that hurt. But he speaks English completely here. There is a Japanese voice cast that you can switch to, but...
Sylveon says, doesn't mean I can't crack a joke. That's true. It's just you've been so, like, adamant on X every time we play a Mega Man game. Gav?
Yeah, no, I'm letting the voice acting go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That is the worst line read from Dr. Light you will hear in this entire game.
Yeah, my stream froze.
Ah.
So I had to reload it.
I know, Sylveon, but we get a lot of comments about when are you doing the X games? When's the X series? I've been getting a lot of those comments lately.
Oh my gosh, no he's not, Sylveon.
Alright, in beginning the Wily stages, just like 11, we have a nice stage select here, and I love this art of the Yellow Devil. Kurikida, yeah, I could see how you could hear that. Boomo time! It is absolutely Boomo time. And this is the one time I will be switching to easy mode, not because of the stage, but because of the boss. It is incredibly difficult. Here's my first thing that I haven't shown off, by the way. I didn't show off the pause screen. You have a time stage, how long your target time for the stage, so you can get a high score. The high score for the stage, your score currently, all of the weapons, of course. You have to hit X or circle to switch to it. And if you want to just escape the stage, you totally can.
Vampire says, I unironically thought a remake of Mega Man 2 would be good, then remembered I would just be an idiot. I guess the reason is people forget that remakes of Mega Man 2 just exist on everything. Or is that just me?
They're mostly ports using the same graphic style. The only real remake of Mega Man 2 that exists out there is for the Sega Genesis, and that's the closest we've come to something like this. I did want to see Powered Up 2, but this game didn't sell well, like I've mentioned before.
We need to Power Up 4.
I would love to see Powered Up 4. I'd love to see them all in the Powered Up style. We actually have
I would love to see how Kalinka and
we do have artwork for all of the characters though, all 1 through 11 in the chibi style, even stuff like Challenger from the Future. You can look it up. Casey, I'll show you after the stream's done, because I'm sure you'll be super hyped to look at that.
Yeah, I would.
It makes you really wish that they did it, but
Empathetic Apathy says, just joined and see Chibi Mega Man?
Chibi Mega Man, yes. This game's most relevant time was fairly recently when the Diamond and Pearl remakes dropped, because everybody was comparing the art style.
Sylveon says, we already have Mega Man 2 Remake, The Wily Wars, and a superior Mega Man 2 on GBA.
I think they're talking about Battle Network 2? Question mark? Oh,
I don't remember there being a Mega Man 2 for GBA or a 1.
I think they're talking Battle Network.
The Curse of Mega, so much potential, but doesn't sell well.
Yeah, no, that is being broken. 11 sold greatly. The Legacy Collection have been selling great. Mega Man Battle Network has been selling so well. They're already planning more stuff with the series. They outsold the number of physical copies they had in Japan to the point where they had to print more. In the States over here, it got really high numbers as well.
Sylveon, that's Mega Man 2 GB, not GBA.
Yeah. No, we're not. Yeah.
Sylveon says the Legacy Collection is a paid emulator.
We don't encourage piracy here, and if it's going to support this series, I will absolutely buy a Legacy
Mega Man
Collection.
World 2, there. Okay.
Thank you.
Sheesh.
All right. Hello,
Anyways.
Casey the Hyena.
I'm
And
gonna say hi to my doppelganger, but you got to it before me.
that's all good. We've got... It's time for the Yellow Devil fight, so we got some voice acting here.
Boomo. Wait, does he actually say Boomo?
Yep.
This is the first. A robot made for combat? Well, you're gonna have to get out of my way.
So there you go. His weakness this time around is Firestorm. He does not switch sides on easy mode. There is not a whole lot of space here to move, due to the fact that when he switches, you can no longer stand behind him, you don't have the pause trick this time, and you've only got those two little spaces in the middle of the room to move. So that is why I switched to easy mode for the Yellow Devil fight. Like I said, I've done it before, but I'm not planning on doing it again.
Sylveon says the Yellow Devil is spitting facts. Empathetic Apathy says, the yellow guy. I hate this guy with a passion just because he's so annoying to deal with in all games forever. And what is that voice?
That is the language of the Yellow Devil. It's decipherable by robots, apparently. Or at least a little bit. But other than that, that is just what they use. I don't know.
According to fans and some resources, they say that the Yellow Devil is actually really well spoken.
Apparently, yes, but we don't ever hear it.
Boomo, meet Gurk.
Uh,
I think they meant to say Carbuncle from Puyo Puyo. Did the game freeze?
no. I'm reading chat here a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You did well.
You're not hurt, right? Oh, thank goodness.
I'm counting on you in the next area, too.
Oh, trust me, it's even more interesting to learn about the Yellow Devils later on in the series, because they're all kind of linked together, and that's why we have the Shadow Devil in X5, but I'll get there when we get there.
And don't forget the Raw Devil.
Yeah, Raw Moon. And the Shadow Devil, and the Dark Devil, and all sorts of stuff. He's also known as the Rock Monster in Japan, so...
Oh, Chronobird corrected me. They said, no, that is how Stone Man speaks in Battle Network. Are you serious?
Yes.
He just goes, girl.
Yes. Girl.
That's crazy.
There's like a translation thing next to it as well, but that's how Stone Man talks. And we only see Stone Man once. And I want to assume that that's how Desert Man kind of sort of sounds as well, but they decided not to do that. Anyways.
Yellow Devil, that room from Mega Man 2, technically not a devil. Buff Yellow Devil, square machine, technically.
Yeah, we got the room devilish sort of thing from 10, so.
Mark 2 is a really goofy design.
And then we have Mark 3 in Mega Man 11.
That's true. I'm gonna be real with you. Mark 2 looks like it belongs in 1, and then the first double looks like a... Am I the only one in chat? Am I the only one who thinks that?
I'm
Mark
just...
2 and 1 feel like they should be swapped.
I mean, I suppose so, but I feel like Mark 2 is a bit more heavily armored, so it makes sense for it to be.
No, in terms of sprite and design.
Oh.
Not the actual boss itself.
Kinda.
3 Boomo in a row with 7, 8, and 9.
Oh, here we have a Doctor Who reference.
Eliminate. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is funny.
There is the line, instead of must exterminate, we get eliminate, which I think is just really clever, super cheeky. I love this as the idea of making a Doctor Who reference with the one robot that has a single eye and a laser is just perfect. Perfect casting, perfect theming.
Sylveon goes Lemonade.
Lemonade. Anyway.
If you really think about it, that's kind of what the energy tanks are. Lemonade.
Lemonade? Yeah!
I mean, then again, we don't know what the inside of the tanks really look like. We don't know if it's a yellow liquid, a green one, depicted as in using spears. We don't know. I like to think it's yellow and solar, just like Mega Man's Buster.
We are going to lose this first round here. I believe I am. Yep. I took too much damage. This fight is really fun. You are constantly shifting towards the center, towards the drain in the background. So, stay on your toes. Use super arms sparingly because you don't have enough of it to take care of all of the bosses. But since they constantly respawn the blocks, it doesn't mean it's as bad of a fight as the first games. And luckily you can actually hop over it. These early ones are slow, so I like to take them out with the Buster.
Mega Man drinks E-Tanks and Archie? Does he?
Yes, he does.
Huh. And injects it into his Buster and Super Adventure. Yeah, I remember him injecting it into his Super Buster? Wow. Into his Mega Buster in Super Adventure. But I never read the Archie comics, so that was the one thing I didn't know. I just know that he drinks them in Ruby Spears.
Yeah. I believe he also plugs them in his Buster in Fully Charged, but I could be misremembering.
I don't know why, but I keep screwing up the names between Powered Up and Fully Charged.
Well, now you know the major differences here. One's a game and one's a show.
It's still gonna get me from time to time.
I'm sure it will, but hey. CWU-01P is down. So close. I almost hit it that time.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. You had it. You had it. You were missing one character.
Sylveon Chan said, last time I saw Fully Charged, we got a female Zero. We did.
Wait, what?
We did. I'll have to show you the comic. I really want them to dub it. I really want them to dub it. Fans need to get around to it.
The official voice actors?
I don't care about the official voice actors do it. I don't care if fans do it. I just want to hear that comic dubbed, because, oh my god, Skullman and Suna as Zero and a Dr. Whiteley with a different voice would be really cool. And just, so much cool stuff there. Really.
Fully Charged light is the best light. That's true.
Agreed. We're going in up against Copybot. This is also our boss refight stage. And
I don't even like Fully Charged that much, but even I like light in that.
Here we have a beautiful rendition of the final Wily theme.
Ooh.
It's got this sort of droning ooh in the background, like there's a choir conducting the final say. And we've got a nice piano and just small synth chords here and there to represent the backbeat. It's good, it's menacing, it fits this stage. This is my favorite piece of music in this game, beyond the credits and everything else. Once again, Mega Man Powered Up, for some reason, it's got all the things I want, and yet Capcom just has not re-released it. I really hope they do, though, because, oh my god, this would be so cool to hear people talk about again. Alright. Casey, would you like to pick our first capsule? We've got colors this time.
We got colors this time. Let's go for ice.
Ice? Okay. Here we go. Chat, you can pick the next one. Feel free to name a color. We'll go for it. This time around, the copybot versions of these bosses are like a tealish color. We also have specific copybot variants of these guys as well, showing that they really did pay attention when it came to the fine details of this game.
I'm listening to the powered up music right now. This is poppin'.
Oh yeah, the boss fight theme is amazing. Oh, shoot.
I like how he bumped into you.
Yeah, so close. So close. Sadly, we don't get any refills on health until after the boss rush, so... Sylveon says Gutsman. I believe that is... So let's see here. That's Bomb. That's Cut.
Chronobird said green.
Chronobird says green. I'll go green then, because I can't figure out which one's Gutsman. I know it's in the orange capsule. One's orange and one's yellow, and with the background lighting, it makes it kind of hard to tell.
Yellow is the one on the bottom. So on the bottom screen, it's top left, and then Guts is bottom left on the top screen.
Rolling Cutter here has the least amount of changes. The major change with it is that it comes back around to you faster. But that's about it. It really is just the same weapon. It maybe has a little bit of a tighter arc, but... So which one are we doing, Casey? You said this one was yellow, and then this one up here was orange?
Yeah.
I believe that
Wait,
orange...
no, sorry. Bottom right is orange.
I thought one was
right
pink.
On the top screen. No, bottom right on the top screen.
Okay.
Is orange.
Alright.
The one on the top left on the bottom screen is
I presume this is Gutsman? Perfect. Chat can pick...
Right?
Yep. Chat can pick...
Go.
Chat can pick the next one. Luckily, I've got plenty of Hyper Bomb to help me take care of Gutsman over here. He's getting a little bit too close for comfort.
Let's kick him.
Luckily, I've got... Oh, here we get to finally see his super ability where he digs underground and pulls a block out from underneath us. Time slow. Slow it down, big guy. I kind of need that, I feel. Sometimes I need people to just tell me, slow it down. We can do it later.
I love how... Apparently, someone in chat forgot that Megaman gets killed by Ridley in the Smash trailer.
Oh, boy. Yep. Seems like the next pick is Elecman. And then they said...
Top left.
Top left, you say?
Top left on the bottom screen. Not on the bottom screen.
Alright. I'm trusting you with this, because for some reason they all look really similar on my TV screen.
That's weird.
Difference in color dynamics, I know. Actually, you know, I could have probably looked at my drawing tablet.
Yeah, you could have.
This is the perfect time to show off the weakness here. Because we've got a lot more room to work with. It's not as cramped. But I still died. Dark Megaman.exe 85 says they got Battle Network for PS4. Give me your username. I will battle you.
Oh my gosh, yes. Gavin has been josing for a net battle.
Just for fun stuff, just for some trading, just to complete the games. I've been blitzing through all of them to try and play. I'll fight you fair and square. I'll start up a fresh game on 3, 4, 5, or 6, just so we can have some fair battles and just have some fun with it.
Gavin had like the most childish, innocent smile ever when he first got his first net battle on PS4. You guys have no idea. He was really happy about it because for some reason the PS4 servers for Battle Network don't exactly work too well.
It's not that they don't work too well, it's that nobody's playing them. There's less people who bought it on PlayStation than bought it on Switch and PC. I'm gonna get it on Switch eventually, but
Technically, I probably will because I feel like I really want to buy it though.
they said red yellow, so I'm assuming that's the top one.
The one on the bottom right is more maroon, so yes, it's the top left.
Gotcha. But yes, shoot me your username, Dark Megaman.exe 85. I will happily battle you on the PlayStation version of Battle Network.
What's your opinion? What's your opinion? Wait, what's in your opinion the best Mega Man fight and the best to learn? Asks Vampire.
What's your best Mega Man? What?
What's your favorite Mega Man fight and the best to learn?
There's the username, by the way, for those curious. You can add me on PlayStation if you want. My favorite fight in Mega Man is Tundra Man. I love that fight. Nightman is a close second. My favorite fight to learn, though, was probably Iceman. I had a lot of fun learning that pattern. Because I can do Iceman Buster only now.
If you think about it, Iceman is technically an earlier version. His attack pattern is an early version of the Yellow Devil.
It is. It's meant to teach you about the Yellow Devil before you get there. In fact, all of the bosses are meant to teach you about the Wily Castle fights.
Hot take, Burnerman is easy.
That is a hot take. But I can see where you're coming from there. Once you learn it, it is pretty easy, but it's tense.
Can we stop bullying those poor bots? They didn't do anything wrong.
But Dark Megaman.exe 85 put the username in the chat. Let me know whenever you sent that out, and I'll add you after the stream's over. I've got 3 more capsules here.
Let's go for the bottom left.
Bottom left. I believe that's Cutman. And that leaves Time Man and Oil Man, I believe.
No, it's Shadow Man. Never mind.
I mean, somebody did compare Cutman to Shadow Man because I talked about the wall jumping aspect.
I was saying that because of the wood.
No, that's Woodman.
I still really got a kick out of, Whoa! Dang. I was gonna say, I really did get a kick out of Shadow Man just completely abandoning his car and replacing himself with a wooden dummy.
Speaking of Shadow Man, I had a lot of fun fighting him in Battle Network 2. To the point where I had absolutely zero problems doing that little trade sequence where you trade all 3 of his chips.
Fluffy Zenny says, hot take 2, pizza dipped in ketchup is good.
I'll have to try it and see how that is. Oh, I just should have jumped over him. There we go. He said bummer when he goes down. Oh. Chronobird says Chronobird says Battle Network 4 bosses are hard. I'll give you some of them, but not all of them. Left.
This is not.
Which one's the next one, guys?
Vampire says, this is an odd question, but on the top of your head has Game Theory... Wait, on the top of your head, has Game Theory ever done a Mega Man theory?
Yes, and both of them were wrong.
They're wrong.
Both of them were related to lore, and both of them he got stuff wrong. He called something that was known fact as a theory. He made up stuff. He tossed out bits of the lore. He contradicted himself in both of the theories. I went over them. My bud Reploid Revo went over them.
And he completely disregarded the game that actually would have made his theory somewhat believable.
Yep. So, which one we going with? Anybody?
Crafting building bridges that aren't meant to exist? No, because not all theories are bad. It's just that, well, you actually have to do research in order to do them. He just does it because money.
Maroon?
Maroon.
Cool.
Which is bottom right. There you go.
I swear I'm not colorblind. I just... For some reason...
Gavin, I'm getting you tested.
I promise you.
Oh my gosh, it's Oil... Whoa, Oilman has got some moves. I didn't even notice his little dance the first time you faced him.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
I think the most interesting thing I like about I think it's called Firestorm.
Yeah.
Is, the fact that it's both a shot and a shield.
It's super useful.
I don't think we really get anything like that anymore.
We kinda did, but not really. Megaman.exe, Acid Man. It starts as a shield, and then you're allowed to shoot afterwards, and it arcs, so it's different than the Buster. Just enough to be...
Acid Man is a definite one. But I meant, aside from, like, you know, that... I'm trying to think of other ones.
I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, I'm sorry.
Right?
I'm a bit busy focusing on the fight with Time Man. I know it looks easy, but if I mess up any of those shots, he shoots a shot at me, and since my timing is all messed up, I can bonk into him. Oh, right.
Vampire asks, can I find Acid Man in my Mega Man energy drink?
I'm not sure. Probably not.
Sylveon, Acid Barrier does not suck.
Acid Barrier is a great weapon. I like using it, at least. I used it a lot in our Mega Man 11 playthrough. I can understand some people not really finding much use out of it, but I found more use out of it than I did things like Plant Barrier. And I like Plant Barrier, but...
What about Leaf Shield?
I used it, but there were other ways of me getting around it.
That's fair.
I only used it, I think, once in our actual playthrough.
Chronobird, every boss does that if you defeat them close to a wall. Which I think is really cool. I do like that a lot.
What, where they bonk against the wall?
Yeah, they were saying that's a really nice detail for Oil Man.
Uh-huh, they did that for everybody's got their own unique little squash and stretch animations. I actually think this game's animations are top-notch in terms of the series. I think 11 beats it just because it's got the consistency of the art style, but this really does come close. And this background is one of my favorites.
Sorry. Looking at this reminds me of Cave Story now. Cave Story 3D specifically.
It just looks good.
Is anybody else getting Cave Story vibes from this background?
Rug? Vampire Kink, I have to disagree with the difficult settings one. And here we go! Copybot Mega Man.
Hey, Blue Bomber. Just a little unfair to steal other robots' arms, don't you think? A clone of me? How far will Dr. Wily go? But I guess being a copy of you would make me the biggest cheat of them all, right?
There you go. There is an alternate evil version of Mega Man called Megaman ? In this game. I'm not going to talk too much about it. Mostly due to the fact that we won't see him until we attempt one of the other bosses' playthroughs. Copybot's weakness here changes with what he has equipped. In the Archie comics, they gave him the purple scarf that Mega Man ? Has. And when he shows up again in the 3 adaptation, he still has the scarf. And Mega Man even convinces Copybot that yes, he can have a purpose to help humanity beyond being a clone of Rock. And it's upsetting because he gets blasted to bits after that scene. And then I don't think we've ever seen Copybot after Mega Man 3, so think of that as you will.
Listen, it's better than Brainiac. I think that's the name they gave him? I don't remember.
Oh,
From
yeah.
Retread.
Yeah, I know which Brainbot.
Brainbot, there you go.
Oh, he's giving me the easy stuff now.
Whoa, you just split that bomb down the middle.
Yep, you can do that to Bomb Man's ones as well.
That's pretty neat. Doc Robot moment. Crappy Bot.
Copybots make an appearance in Battle Network 6 as well, if you want to know what Copybots would look like without, you know, all the appearance of the other bosses.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me go ahead and save here real fast. As we are coming to the final stage, but not our final thing for the day, because I've got all sorts of stuff to show off with this game.
Oh boy.
Well, I'm not going to be doing a playthrough for everybody, but I want to at least show off Proto Man, Megaman.exe, and at least one Robot Master of the chat's choice. They won't be full playthroughs, but we'll be checking stuff out. Here we have the final Wily stage. Casey, what have you thought about the Wily Castle so far and all of its changes with the levels?
I think they look awesome. They feel more like a mechanical factory than... I think they were meant to be a factory in the first game, right?
It was, yes. And it's also the first appearance we see of all of these gears in the background. Almost like the double gear was hinted and faded.
It was.
The Gears of Fate, if one might say. Oh wait, that is the subtitle, isn't it? Makes you wonder. Also, this is also one of the...
The subtitle is Rockman.
Actually, speaking of subtitles, in Japan, this is known as Rockman.
Roku Man.
No, not Rockman. Rockman.
No, I was making a joke because it's double, so it's like Tall Mountain and Cool Mountain or Dire Docks. So it's just Rockman. I did not do it funny.
You're fine. You're absolutely fine.
Does the rolling cutter home in on enemies?
No, it does not.
Okay, I thought it did for a second. It looked like it was having a weird change of course.
I do like the little warning lights in the background, so it tells you exactly when to jump. I'm just really bad at judging this. If you want to read chat real fast, because it looks like...
Yeah,
I'm going to be
Sylvan
here in a hot
asks,
second.
shouldn't it be a copy Navi instead of a bot?
No, because it's not a net Navi. It's an actual in-person robot that Mega Man and other Navis can jack into to exist in the real world and help out with real-world tasks. It has no combat features, to help limit the danger. But yeah.
Let's see here. Vampire asks, do you have any favorite Mega Man art?
I don't believe I do. Sorry to say.
Because they're all his favorite.
No, just because I don't really pick and choose favorites when it comes to art. Like, structurally, there are some that are much better than others. Like, I like the 11 art style. I like the powered up art style. Legends is one of my top in terms of 2D drawn art. But, you know, I've been liking a lot of the I've been enjoying a lot of the modern Legacy Collection pieces that have come out. Those are all really, really good and clean. Especially the ones for Legacy Collection 2 and the X Legacy Collection. X Dive has a lot of really good art as well. I can't fault that game. So, what makes this so much harder than the ones in Gutsman stage is, one, the spacing. I'm jumping over 2 tiled gaps, which is about as close as frame perfect as this game tries to get. And the other major issue with it is just the angle at which you're coming at this run. It's hard to notice, but if you watch the platform slide across the screen, if you look to the top of it, you may notice that it's got some weird angles to it. And it shifts that angle as it slides across the screen. So since you're moving the camera with the platform to try and make the jump, it makes it harder to judge that jump. This was something that was changed with Mega Man 11 because they understood more about the 2.5D art style.
Chronobird says Rockman, the Rockman for Rockman.
Here's a nice reference to the classic games here with the really long hallway. And here we go. The Wily Machine number 1.
If only I programmed you differently back then, it would have been genius. It's the only mistake I made in my life.
This is the first instance of Dr. Wily implying that he worked with Dr. Light, which I, to this day, do not understand how fans were like, no, they never knew each other before the first game. And I'm like, did they? Powered Up says otherwise. So did the show. And then, of course, Mega Man 11 comes out and proved that theory right, so... Hey.
How did people think that? Literally, Wily and Dr. Light are confirmed to be lab partners. Even in the manual of one, it says that.
Yep, I don't know. They just presumed it was a incorrect translation, I suppose. As you can see, so the top of his head up there actually changes based on what form you're fighting, and that determines what weapon he shoots at you. It also changes his weakness around. So for this one in particular, he'll take more damage from the hyper bomb, and then I'll switch over here to electric, and I'll want to swap to the oil slider, which will force him to change again. And now it's Ice Slasher.
Vampire Kink asks, didn't MatPat say that Dr. Wily was the good guy?
Yeah, MatPat's also wrong. I don't like dwelling on it, because other people have made much better videos about the topic, and it annoys me to no end to think that people think he is some authority when it comes to these games.
Whoa.
Yep.
All you did was hit it with a hammer, dude.
Yeah, but now he can angle his shot and everything. He'll throw a hammer at you in this mode. As we are fighting and hitting him, the the ship will become more and more damaged until eventually it's practically unrecognizable as to what it was previously.
Dang. Zenny says he actually is a genius, though. He got it to work again in like 12 seconds.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there.
That is pretty impressive.
That is incredibly impressive, especially for a large piece of machinery such as the Wily machine.
Not only that, as complicated as it is.
And here we have another piece of music that was not remixed for this piece here. He switched to time slowed down time, switched back over to the hyper bomb. I feel it's easier to pause. For this time around, he didn't dash at me, which is something that he can do. Time for the ending.
This calls for a temporary retreat. Whoa! Wait a minute. I promised to be good. I'm a changed man. I said I promised. Please don't hurt me. All right.
Great, now while he's frozen in the air, I can escape.
And now we have a beautiful rendition of the credits theme / opening to Mega Man 2. And then Pleasant Walk Home as the credits roll. This is one of my favorite tracks of this game. It really is pretty. And there's also a typo. They misspelled Inafune's name.
Oh my gosh!
That was not on purpose, I don't believe. But, yeah. This was Mega Man Powered Up, and I absolutely recommend you guys go check this game out. Once again, it's only $20 or so, which is not bad for a PSP game, even one that is this packed with content. Like, you gotta remember, this game is packed with content. Stages, different pathways, playable robot masters, new playable characters in general being Roll and Proto Man, voice acting, different interactions between the bosses. It'll give you a real appreciation for these characters, and then if you play this and then start reading the Archie comics, you'll get a real feel for what these games were meant to be like. Like, really. I think between this and the Archie comics, that is my favorite bit about this game. And right here at the ending, we actually get a different set of ending depending on how many bosses you've saved. And if you come here as Proto Man, he actually teleports out, and then Mega walks out on the screen and is looking around for Proto Man. These are things I'm not going to show off here, but it's certainly worth a playthrough of your own. What did you think of that, Casey?
I thought it was nice. Chronobird said, yes, grovel, you slimy man.
Ignore the glitchy bit here in the opening. That is actually a video file, and I can't do anything to make it look any nicer via my capture method. Once again, there is a construction set, so you can actually create and play your own levels. I don't have any of them uploaded here, sadly, and I don't have my thumbstick, so I can't use the construction theme anyways. We also have 100 challenges. If you complete every single one of these, by the way, you will end up unlocking Proto Man. The way you unlock each of these sets of challenges is actually by saving the bosses, and they'll teach you all about how to play these games. Just don't forget the trick with Oil Man, or you will struggle there. So, let me boot up my 100% file over here and show you guys some of the other bosses. So starting with Proto Man here, I'll do the intro stage and I'll do the intro stage and I'll pick another stage because it should move by really quickly, especially because we'll be doing it on easy.
Year 2000X. With the advancement of science, humans were able to create industrial humanoid robots. Then suddenly, a robot with built-in weapons made for combat was also developed.
Sylveon says, and thus... Wait, did you want me to be quiet for this intro?
You're fine.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Feel free to read out loud real fast.
Sylveon says, and thus Wily will never invent a robot virus or super killing Robot Zero.
Or, you know, the 8 bosses in 2. Anyways, so here's Proto Man's main gameplay thing. 1, he's got the biggest jump in the game. 2, he has a shield at all times, as long as he is standing still. When using the shield, if you get hit by an enemy, it'll nullify the enemy for a moment, and Proto Man will drop his shield, at which point you'll have to pick up the shield again to use it. You can also leave it and just keep moving. I'm going to show off this cutscene here because this is where things take a little bit of a different turn.
I'll be taking them with me.
Stop, Dr. Wily. Stop, I say.
Farewell.
Wait! Stop, Dr. Wily.
I like this voice for Proto Man as well. It's quite nice.
Conquer the world. I'll help you this time. But remember this, Light. I haven't forgiven you. Proto Man? What a surprise. With this shield, you can deflect frontal attacks.
Forgiving him about what?
The whole nuclear core incident.
I thought that was Wily's doing.
Yeah, well, it's something you're gonna have to watch the Ultimate Guide to Mega Man for more details on. However, to say the least, his solar core is defunct, and when Proto Man ran away, he did not forgive Dr. Light for wanting to change who he was as a being. Proto Man's Proto Strike here is a charge shot. He is a constant stream of charge shots.
Sylveon said, he replaced me.
But this move is what's known... yeah. So this move is what's known as the Proto Strike. He also has this move in the fighting game that we played the other day, so... Also, it's incredibly powerful, busts through shields, and is also the charge shot that Mega Man gets if you play as Megaman.exe. So, I believe the chat earlier chose Oil Man as our second pick. So, we will absolutely do that.
Yeah, Chronobird said Oil Man, Oil Man, Oil Man.
We'll go Oil Man on Oil Man stage, and then after that we will call it there, because I believe we are actually on the 2-hour mark. We're a little past the 2-hour mark. With 8 likes. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. I hope you guys can share the video around to get more people interested in this game, because it deserves the love. It doesn't get the love that the rest of the series gets. So.
That's very true.
Oh boy, this is going to be a difficult fight. But on the stage select screen here, you can even see Oil Man is replaced with Mega Man? Question mark? Casey, I'll let you pick the difficulty here.
Normal.
Alright.
Ha! Go ahead, Hotshot.
Ready?
It's showtime!
Alright.
Yo!
There's no real difference between Oil Man's oil slider in this mode, other than the fact that it can knock over enemies and stuff. He takes double damage from fire attacks, and it makes him incredibly difficult to play as. So I'm going to try my best to zip through this here. We can only have...
Whoa, he zips.
Yep.
Sorry.
He also doesn't slide on oil or ice. So keep that in mind as you're playing as the oil-clad oil man here.
The oil Chad.
The oil Chad. Yeah, sure. Let's call him that.
Whoa, that was a lot of health.
Yeah, he is quite weak.
Wait a minute. Are those funnels? I just realized that.
Yes, they are. The same kind you would use to, you know.
Change oil on a car.
Yep. Funnels are used all over the place in very interesting ways. If you've never looked up all the ways you can use a funnel, we'll probably do that, because, like, you might need a funnel for certain things and not even realize that it would make your life, like, 20 times easier.
It's true. I wish they made 3 to fight Proto Man with his constant charge shots.
That would have been super cool. Give him the Brakeman outfit. Because we don't see the Brakeman outfit in this game, and I would love to see that. Maybe make the Brakeman version be a little different. Like, there's a Proto Man version with the Proto Strike, and then a more standard version. Oh boy. As you can see, I am just struggling here. But we've made it to Mega Man ? And here's the new dialogue for this.
On the scene. Oil Man, bro. Dr. Wily's got some slick jobs with your name on them, so how about it?
Ha ha! Real funny. If you're Mega Man, then I'm Dr. Light.
Guess our oily plan just burned up in my face. Better take this guy down.
There you go. Confirmation. This is not Mega Man. It seems like the chat is having a blast at me struggling to play as Oil Man.
That's true. Yes, struggle streamer.
But yeah. Some bosses are fooled. Other bosses are not fooled. His helmet's different, his facial structure is different. And his fight's a little tough with Oil Man here. I would have had an easier time with Time Man, I'm gonna be honest.
Get it? An easier time?
Nah, it was both pun and not pun. Oh, here's the charge shot.
Chronobird says perfect pick.
Yeah, he did a quick turnaround there. I didn't even see him move.
Sheesh.
Alright.
Sylveon says, weird how the last of the Doctor's creations is the best thing Wily did.
But yeah, this is an interesting fight to say the least. Since the other bosses don't have the variable weapon system, it becomes a very difficult fight. And this isn't even the hardest fight with Oil Man. I would say majority of the bosses just you struggle the whole way through with Oil Man. I'm sure there's perfect runs with this guy, but I am not one to do that. So Casey, what's your final verdict on Mega Man Powered Up, since we're coming to the end
I like
here?
it. I'd like to try it out.
That's all?
Yeah, I really like it. I don't have much to say about it. I don't have anything negative to say. Nothing really. I really like this title.
So our next stream is going to be New Super Luigi U with me and Casey playing 2-player. It won't be this week, most likely. It'll probably be next week. However, also next week, I have my final classic Mega Man video for a little bit of time planned. Specifically, Mega Man for DOS 1, Mega Man for DOS 3, and Mega Man for Game Gear. We'll be doing that, and hopefully I'll have some special guests with me for that one, so stay tuned for that.
Gavin converting another to the mega church.
It's not a church. I just like these games, and I want to share them with people. I play other games. Those who...
To the mega church, I'm sorry. That is the funniest term I've ever heard anyone use.
That is some pun work of the trillions right there.
I don't know why I find that so funny to me. Mega church.
Honestly, though, if you want a game series that I really, really like, go watch the Sonic playthroughs. I have a full, playlist of every Sonic game we've ever done on the channel. That was the first major series we went and ran through.
Plus, check out the Sonic Frontiers live streams, because I was on those. Ooh, different title screen and everything.
Yep, and he even says the title screen. You get a different one for everybody who you play as.
That's neat.
So, with all that being said, though, that's where we're going to end it today. Thank you guys so much for watching and enjoying the playthrough. If you did, drop a like and share it with a friend. You can also follow me on Twitter at GavinDragonYT. You can donate to the PayPal link on your screen or in the description below. And even click on stuff after the video's over to help out the channel with even more views on other stuff. Anything else? Oh, you can recommend there's a Discord in the description below where you can talk to us and recommend games. And there's also a Telegram art group where you can see all the artsy stuff that I do in between things. You can also catch it on the Twitter, but I don't post there quite as often. So, yeah. With all that being said, guys, I have been your humble host. Good night, everybody.